Hey guys, this is Danya with Around Cass County, a coffee break, and today we are talking with Leita Boatman, and I'm going to let her tell her side of the story and exactly who she is. So, Leita, tell me about yourself.
Well, I am Leita Boatman. I own a travel agency called Cruise Planners Boatman Travel.
All right,
I've owned my agency for 10 years, and I just recently moved back to Cass County.
awesome. We're glad that you moved back. So, how long were you away from Cass County?
10 years.
Okay, well,
I bought my franchise just right after I moved to West Texas.
okay. So, do you still have customers there in West
Oh,
Texas
yes.
as well as here?
Yes,
Well, that's awesome. You can just kind of grow your business wherever you go.
that's exactly right. And I do have some ladies that work for me that are still there in San Angelo. So they take care of my clients out there some and their own.
That's nice that happens.
Yeah.
Tell us why you fell in love with helping people with cruises. What made you fall in love with
Oh,
that?
gosh. I've always been a people person.
Yeah.
I was in medicine also for 35 years or more. And that's what I loved most about it was just helping people. And after a long day in the hospital, I'd go home and I'd look at stuff online or see a destination and say, ooh, what is there to do there? And I'd get to looking and planning and may probably never go on the trips. But, now I'm getting around to some of them.
That's right. You're digging them out.
So when I got to thinking about retiring, this is my retirement job.
And it's fun.
It's lots of fun.
That's awesome. I think
I
I
love
may
making
join you
people
later on.
happy. Yeah.
I do too.
Yeah.
That's always so fun to do. And that's one reason I like the podcast and the magazine
Mhm.
is because it gets me out, meeting people. Because I was gone for 5 years and many years before then because I lived in Virginia. I've lived in Washington, D.C. I mean, the whole area. So I was really glad to come back home. There's nothing like home.
Yeah.
That's for sure. Nothing like
Right.
home. Okay, for someone who has never been on a cruise before, what is the biggest misconception that's out there?
Well, people think they're going to get bored. They're like, there is nothing for me to do. And I'm going to feel trapped and confined and, I can't get off. So,
Right, yeah.
But once you are on the ship, you don't even realize you're moving. You don't realize that you're on a ship unless you go to the balconies or go outside. And of course, then you see the ocean. If you're bored, it's your own fault because cruise ships nowadays have world-class entertainment. They've got casinos. There's activities like water parks and go-karts and water slides.
Go-karts?
Oh my God. Yes. Yes. On a ship.
Let me see what I'd go. Sure, I'd do a Dukes of Hazzard.
Roller coasters. I mean, just about anything.
Right.
Ice skating, anything.
That is crazy.
Yes.
Now, I've been on a couple of cruises, and I fell in love with the different things that actually the boat had to offer. Like the
Mhm.
cruise that I was on, they offered you could come and watch the chef make all those
Yes.
beautiful flowers out of food, and I mean, like you said, there's always something to do.
Well, and now they're doing cooking classes. The Carnival Jubilee out of Galveston has a kitchen theater like you see on TV, and you
That's
go in and there's
cool.
little workstations and it's awesome. I mean, you literally can do anything. So, and also it's not just for young people and kids or just for old people. A lot of people think they're for old people. No, there's something for everybody. Maybe you would rather be in the theater listening to someone talk about destinations or about eagles or, anything about history. Or, maybe you'd rather be in the casino or, just sitting out on deck with a book.
That's me.
Oh, hello.
I'll take 10 of those. I'll take 10 of those.
Yes, yes.
It is so much fun, but what I always liked about it is you would wake up in a different place. That is so cool.
That is the number one thing is that you unpack once, but you go to multiple destinations within a week.
Yeah.
Different countries, different islands, and you can see them all from the balcony of your room.
That's
Or
awesome.
from the deck up.
From wherever you want to see it,
Yeah.
And like I said, every destination was practically, unless you had a 2-day jaunt sometimes, but waking up in a new Caribbean island or in Jamaica or whatever.
Yes.
And then you get off the boat and there's more things to do. It's not like, okay, well, we're just going to hang out at the beach all day. No, they have all different kinds of excursions and that kind of thing that you can do.
Oh, you can find just about anything that matches up with your interest and your activity level. Maybe you want to go kayaking in the ocean or go diving or snorkeling.
That's what I did.
Or maybe just a city tour. I love visiting and learning about the different cultures in the places that I go.
Right.
And, and it's not all about the Caribbean.
Right.
You've got one of my most most popular destinations to book for people from Texas mainly is Alaska. Oh
Yeah.
my gosh. I sell so much Alaska.
My
I
sister and
am
them just got
Alaska.
back from Alaska.
Oh, it's so different from Texas. You learn so much. It's amazing.
Yeah.
You see so many different animals and
That's on my bucket
just different
list.
things to
That's
do.
on my
Oh,
bucket
yeah.
list.
And then, of course, let's talk Europe.
Yes.
Yes, yes. And I did Japan last year, so
How
it
long did it take you to get there?
was long. Oh my goodness, it was probably
Was it like a 14-day cruise?
18. Well, no, we flew into
Okay.
Tokyo, and
Gotcha.
we spent a few days in Tokyo and down to took the train, the high-speed train to Kyoto,
Mhm.
and then back, and then got on the ship.
And, they also have now these, world cruises
Yes.
that last a year long. Retirement.
Well,
Oh,
and you can do it for any length of time. You can do it for, 3 weeks, 3 months, 6 months, 9 months,
right, that's what I'm saying, you can go for a
Yeah,
really long time.
you
Okay,
can.
we gotta get started. We got a lot to do in a short amount of time to do it. Okay, so why do you personally love cruises compared to other types of vacations?
Well, like I said, previously, you unpack once.
Yeah, that's big.
And it really is big, and it's all right there.
Mhm.
It's like a floating resort.
Yes.
You've got all your meals, your entertainment, there's activities, and then you go to different destinations where there's more activities,
Yeah.
more to learn.
Yeah, and the thing about it is, I mean, no matter where you are, there's always something to do.
Mhm.
But again, you only have to go to one hotel room in in the
That's
ship,
exactly
and you're
right.
done. So
You
if
know
you got
what
kids,
else? You don't have to clean that room. You
that's
don't have to
true.
cook,
That is true.
and you don't have to clean up.
They would actually. I remember the cruise that I was on. They would even wash your clothes for you and bring it back to you.
They
Launder it.
will. They do charge for that
Yeah, I didn't mind
now,
it
but
though.
and
I
some
needed it.
some of the ships have self laundries.
Right, right,
You can
like
go
a
and do your
hotel
own if
can
you
or
want to.
something.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Okay, what are some main cruise lines you work with, and how are they different from each other?
Oh my
Ooh, that's a
mercy.
big question.
I work with all of them. So if you want small ship, big ship, you want family, you want adults only, I
Mhm.
got those.
Yes.
I got ships with sails, like wind sails.
Yeah, like a sailboat, a big sailboat.
Yeah,
Do you
you
have
can.
the, paddle boat cruises?
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
the river
So
boats?
river
I
cruises
love
are really,
s
really popular. We do have some in the United States
I've
that have
noticed they're
that,
kind of
the paddle wheel.
expensive compared to the other ones. Is there a
That's
reason why?
yes.
Smaller space.
They're very small,
Okay.
very intimate. And same thing with the river cruises in Europe also, and other places. They have them in Vietnam and Colombia, but they also include a lot more than your ocean cruises.
Okay.
You have excursions are included. There's some options that are for a fee, but they're really not that expensive.
Okay.
But there are a lot of excursions that are included in that price. So
Gotcha.
it's kind of like an all-inclusive
Balances.
vacation
Okay.
with
Okay.
fewer people.
Right, which is kinda nice. I wanna
Kind
be.
of very
Alright, I'm
nice.
gonna have to start booking my reservations now, maybe I can get prepared.
Well, and that's the thing, plan ahead.
Mhm.
You can plan 2 years out. I'm booking for 28 already.
Yeah, well, and
So
we were talking the other day, and we were visiting, and she actually you can pay it out. You don't have
mhm.
to. I always thought it was kinda like when you buy an airline ticket or whatever, you gotta pay for it up front, but this, I can pay it out, so if I do a cruise in 2 years, space it out. When I go on the cruise, it's paid for, It's
Exactly.
done.
It is done, and you can even have everything booked. You can have restaurants booked. There are some optional restaurants for a fee, like steakhouse or sushi or, the
Yeah.
special
Yeah, you may
restaurants.
only wanna do that once or twice during the week,
Yeah,
or every night. Some
some
people may
do.
wanna do it every night.
Otherwise, all your meals are included, and there's several options on the ship. But you can have everything paid for. You can have all your excursions purchased, everything.
And she does all the normal cruise lines, like the Carnival and the Princess and all these guys.
Holland America, Norwegian. I also have some premium, like Celebrity. Some other ones that are smaller ships that are becoming more and more popular, like Regent Seven Seas. And they actually are going to be coming to Galveston this fall for 3 sailings, which is unheard of to have a premium
Ship come in?
luxury ship like that
Awesome.
come in. So I got the scoop on that.
So in other words, you need to book now, right?
Absolutely.
Because
Absolutely.
going out of Galveston is huge. We can just drive. We don't have to fly there.
And I tell
Yeah.
you, so many people are booking cruises this year that space is very limited for this year.
And the thing about it is I think finally we're kinda moving past the whole COVID
Oh,
thing. I know, and I think we've gotten past that, honestly,
yes,
because we are
we
seeing more
have.
cruises fill up, or people are traveling and moving and going, which is awesome to see.
And we learned so much through all of that. So through that process, we learned so much.
Yeah.
Some of it was we learned how good they actually were
Yep.
keeping things clean. People always thought they weren't, but they are. But whenever you get multitudes of people together, there's going to be
Issues.
germs
Yeah,
because
it's gonna be
people
issues.
are going to, just like people go to work sick, people go on vacation sick, and you shouldn't, but they do. So, just make sure you take enough hand sanitizer, wash your hands often, and that sort of thing.
Just be smart, use your
Just be
common
smart.
sense. Yep.
Absolutely.
Okay, if someone from a small town like Atlanta or Bloomberg or McLeod or
Mhm.
wherever is taking their very first cruise, where would you suggest them go?
Where? Well, it depends on what you like to do. So many of my clients from around here like to just drive to Galveston, so they don't
Sure.
have that airfare. There are some fabulous ones out of Miami, Fort Lauderdale, Port Canaveral, but we've got some great ones here in Texas. It's a major port. You can do shorter cruises if you want to just kind of get a taste of it. You can do
Mhm.
like a 5-night cruise. They do have some 4-night cruises, but to me, it's over before you even got a chance to try it.
Right,
I just think that's a waste of your time and money.
right, so at least
Go
do
at
5.
least 5. 7 is better. It's really not that much longer.
Right, right.
And there are some like 6 and 8 nights. It just depends on what you're looking for.
Now, another thing that we were talking about, let's say they are going on a cruise out of Galveston. We were talking, you always need to get there at least a day ahead of time,
Absolutely.
just in case of accidents or things that could
Delays.
happen. You never know. So always get there the day before the cruise, right?
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
I always encourage that. Used to also you could get a hotel down there that would allow you to leave your car there and, they had a shuttle. That's getting a little harder to find. Not many of them will do that. And I think a lot of that is a liability problem for
Sure.
them. But there's a couple of hotels that still do that, but there's some fantastic parking lots near the port. So get your hotel, book one of the parking lots in advance. You
Mhm.
can get a little discount if you pay in
And
advance, and they're right there at the port. So very easy.
and that way you don't feel rushed, and if something does happen, you don't have to panic, and that's a really big deal.
Exactly.
You want your cruise to go smooth, right? So
Yes.
it doesn't hurt to get there a day early to prepare for that.
Exactly.
So, okay,
Exactly.
what does the typical cruise actually include in the price, and what surprises people that cost extra?
That's a really good question. So, what is included is your transportation to that destination is the ship.
Okay.
You've got your accommodations that, even better than a hotel room because,
Yes.
you got somebody there coming in once or twice a day, making your bed and bringing you anything you need. You just ask. And,
Right.
what's included is your meals. You can literally go on there and not pay another penny for meals because breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks,
All of it.
midnight snacks.
And I was gonna
Take
say,
your stretchy pants.
yeah, the last time I said when I did go on a cruise, food was 24/7 available, and they would have different sections like a taco bar or the hamburgers or this
Yeah.
and that and the other.
Well, and yes, they do still have that, but not so many do the 24-hour.
Okay.
They did kind of cut back and they end, depending on the different venue, it might be 11, it might be 2 in the morning. There's generally something you can
Something
get.
at a pretty decent time frame. Okay.
But, what else is included? All your entertainment.
Yeah.
It's all there. You can get with your meals. I skipped this part. With your meals, you get coffee, tea, water, lemonade type beverages. It might be different flavors. They might have a mango or a strawberry or something like
But no
that.
sodas?
Sodas are not included in most of your cruises.
Okay.
Most of them. You purchase them. You can either buy a package or you can, purchase by the drink. Same thing with adult beverages.
Right.
Those are not included. You can buy a package or purchase a few at it, during the
Now,
week.
are there ships where you can have everything included?
Yes.
Okay, that's what I was gonna say because I've been
Yes.
on some that I didn't pay for a cocktail or whatever. It was all inclusive, but you
Yes.
pay for that as well.
Well, yes, it's a package that you can add on to your reservation from the beginning and pay it off in advance.
Okay.
And I've got several that do that. But two of our main ones in Galveston do not. And they call that, their way of being able to customize your trip by saying, why should you pay for those beverages that you're not going to use?
Yeah.
So if you want them, pay for them.
Yeah.
Otherwise you get a little bit lower rate because you're not taking,
Protecting.
not,
Yeah.
that's right.
That makes common sense to
Yeah,
me.
and then a lot of the ships have a Starbucks on board
Okay.
where you can get really special premium coffees, but those are not included.
Okay.
Okay, those are extra. They're not included in pretty much any of the packages
Okay. But you can
for the
definitely,
most
like you
part.
were saying, you can get the lemonades, the waters, the teas, all that is automatically included.
Yeah, and I always say take a cup with you with a lid and a flip top or a straw or something that is not going to leak, and you can refill it with water or tea any time of the day.
Now, here's the question. Can you take your own on board?
Some of them do allow you to carry a few sodas.
Okay, like a six-pack maybe of
12
something?
pack,
Okay.
usually. Yeah, you can usually take a 12 pack of sodas. You cannot take alcohol,
Mhm. A bottle of wine,
like
for example.
you. Most of them will let you bring wine on board.
Okay.
But you're limited, and you have to put it in your carry-on bag, not in your check bag. Like one bottle per person, per room, or for two people,
Okay,
up
well,
to
that's
two
good to.
people. Yeah, it is. You can take a little bit, but you can't take like whiskey or
Well,
vodka or
yeah.
something like
Yeah.
that on board. They do not allow that. They'll take it, at the port.
Yeah, and
They'll take it from you.
that would be wise if they did that.
Yeah. But if you want some for your room, you can purchase it from the shop and have it delivered to your room.
Right.
But
There
you
are
got to
shops
keep it
on
in your
board.
room. Yes, but you
All
can even,
types of.
some of them will allow you to order it before you leave. But they're
Okay.
starting to limit that too because, it's sad, but there's always somebody that abuses the system and makes it harder on everybody else.
Absolutely.
Yeah, takes the
Okay.
fun.
When is the best time of year to book your cruise to get the best price?
Well, really, this time of year, first part of the year, we have what we call wave season,
Okay.
and there's all kinds of specials and offers and promotions and extra little perks and treats. And, the best thing to do always is contact a travel advisor because they know the scoop. And sometimes they get extra perks that the cruise line's not going to give you. They might give you a good rate, but we might give you specialty dining. We might give you that dinner out in the extra, the optional restaurant.
Right.
You get a steakhouse. You get a spa treatment. That sort of thing. Little perks if you come to us that you're not going to get
Now,
from
we
the
were
cruise line.
talking also, when we say come to us, she means a professional
A professional
that
travel
is
advisor.
certified, that knows what they're doing. Obviously, somebody that's got some experience. How many years experience do you have?
10.
10 years experience. You don't want somebody that can't give you all those perks and knows how to find them. So that's a really big part of it.
Well, yes. And right now, there are travel advisors coming out of the woodworks right now.
Mhm.
There's a lot of people that just say, that looks fun. I want to do that. And they just, all of a sudden, they're a travel advisor.
And 3 weeks later, they're gone.
They're gone,
Yeah,
or,
and then you lost your
they
money.
don't have the experience. I have
Right.
done just oodles and tons of training. It's ongoing.
You're right.
I also travel. So
So you can check it out. Well,
I
you have
do
to.
that.
Yeah.
I absolutely do that. How can I tell you about it if I've not experienced it myself?
Exactly. Let's see here. How far in advance should someone plan a cruise? We were already talking about that. You can do it way in advance or a few months, right?
Yes, so the best time frame is to do it in advance, several months to a year. And if you're traveling with a group of people, if you say you want to take a class reunion and go on a cruise, you need to plan that well in advance, like at least a year or more in advance. If you're traveling with a big family group and you want everybody's rooms to be close to each other, you better get that planned in advance or you're going to be scattered all over the ship.
Gotcha. And those ships can be very large.
They can be.
They are like islands in the water.
That's right.
They are huge. Some of
That's
them
right.
are really, really huge for sure.
Yes.
Okay. What is one mistake people make when booking a cruise on their own, and that would help them avoid? Yeah, if they book through you guys.
Well, for one thing, a lot of people want to look at the cheapest rate.
Yeah.
They just
What's the
give
cost?
me the cheapest rate. They're just looking at the price tag. Does not mean that you're going to have a good cruise.
Right.
Because they have cheap rates in what we call guarantee rooms. It means you're guaranteed to have an inside cabin somewhere on that ship. I don't care where it is. You will if you get underneath the dining room or something where they're dragging chairs around or underneath the pool deck and they're
Right.
dragging chairs around at 6 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
You're gonna care then.
Yeah.
It's gonna be miserable and you're gonna my very first cruise, we ended up in a room, I think under maybe one of the lounges. It was a public area that had music playing loudly 24/7.
Oh, no.
We could not be on our balcony without listening to the music.
Yeah.
And that is where I learned it's important to know where your room is.
Yeah.
So, yes, you're going to pay. It's not that much more, but you're going to pay a little bit more to get into a category where you can select your room. And I'm very picky about picking out rooms for people because if I wouldn't stay in that room, I'm not going to put you in it.
Yeah, and let me tell you, the 2 cruises I was in, the first one just had a hole about this big that I could see out, but at least I was on the outside, at least I could see, and then the second one, I upped to get the balcony. I will never go back to the little
No,
hole
no,
ever again,
no.
ever again. If I can't afford it, I just won't go, because it made a big difference.
And I personally don't like the inside cabins, the interiors that have no windows.
Oh, I can't
Now,
even
one of my
imagine.
best friends absolutely loves it because she loves the darkness. She doesn't want a window. Me? No, it's like being shoved in a closet. I
Yeah.
can't do it.
Yeah.
I just,
I totally agree with you.
yeah,
All
I
right,
have to have a
we're going to
balcony.
skip down here because we only have a few minutes left. But if someone listening today is thinking, I've always wanted to do that, what would be their very first step? And I know this, contact you or
Yes.
somebody that knows what they're doing.
Absolutely. Contact a travel advisor that knows what they're doing, someone with experience that can guide you through it. We ask a whole series of questions. We kind of get to know you and we know what's out there. I'm not going to choose someone that likes to stay at the Four Seasons. I'm not necessarily going to put them on a Carnival ship.
Right.
I'm going to choose one that's got a little bit more of a luxury feel.
Mhm.
So it's things like that. I have to get to know them, what they're looking for, what they like to do, and we kind of match them up. And we're going to guide you through the process all the way. We're going to find the best deals. One thing that we do also is for one, most of us don't charge fees. There are some travel agents that do.
Really? See,
But
I always
I
thought
don't.
travel agents were free because you make the money off the commission, correct?
That
So
is
you don't have to
correct.
pay
The cruise
you
lines pay
plus
me.
the cruise. Right, exactly.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. But there are some that charge fees because it can get pretty complicated, especially if you're booking big groups,
Right.
which that takes a
Definitely
lot.
book through. That
That
would be
takes
a
a
lot.
lot to
Yeah.
coordinate but we do it with our agency is we keep an eye on the cruise fare. And so if your rate drops a good bit, I'm
Mhm.
not talking $5 or $10, but if it drops $50, $100, I've seen some that the rate will drop multiple $100s.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And we will either reprice it or we will upgrade your room to where you're getting more for that.
Yeah, and see, if you don't pay somebody or go to a professional, not necessarily pay, they wouldn't know these things.
No, and the cruise line's not going to call you and say, "Hey, your cruise is cheaper
Yeah,
today. Do you
yeah.
want to
I
reduce
didn't
it?"
even know there
They're
was
not going
such
to
a
do that.
thing.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So if they're running a promotion, maybe it's even a weekend deal that's significantly lower, then yeah, we'll refare it for you. And we also have some rates that are exclusive. Our company will go in and hold some space at the lowest rate when it's first released.
Smart.
And so a year later, and you're coming in looking, our rates may be lower than what's
Out there.
out there. Call your travel advisor with your calendar in hand.
Okay.
If at all possible, if you can be a little bit flexible, because, you come to me with a date, but the week before or 2 weeks later might be better rates and better availability. So hopefully you can have a little flexibility and we're going to find the one that's best for you.
Okay. All right. Well, Lita, we are going to wrap it up. Thank you so much for coming. And we are going to start having regular events and travel talk with Lita. And I'm really looking forward to that. I think it's going to help a lot. And I think our community will really enjoy it. So thank you for coming. You guys have a great day and we will talk to you soon. Bye.